Welcome back everyone, my name is Navin Reddy and in this video we'll talk about Spring AI. Now see, we are living in the AI era, so whatever application you're building, basically you have to enhance it with the help of AI capabilities. Now there are two things with Gen AI. One is how do you use AI tools to enhance or to improve your productivity, and second is how do you enhance your application. So let's say if you are building an application where this is for, let's say, e-commerce, and in the e-commerce, basically for the user side, if they are buying something, maybe they want some suggestions, maybe they want to talk to a chatbot, so AI should be able to help them. There are different ways AI can help for a user, but let's say if you're an admin and if you are adding a product, in that scenario as well, maybe if you want to generate an image or maybe you want to write a description for a product, AI can help you there. So of course, based on your domain, based on what kind of application you're building, you can enhance it with the help of AI. So that's where you can say it's AI enabled. Now, it has actually become easy thanks to all these AI providers. So you don't have to basically build your own models. We got these amazing models created by different companies. We got OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and many more. And they are doing a good job. And of course, we don't want to compete with them in terms of model creation. Second is you don't have to run those models in your machine. You can, but running a model in your machine, you need a high configuration machine. And we can do that. Of course, that's a fun of building your own servers. But what if you can use a cloud service? Maybe this company can provide you the AI models running on their servers, and that is actually happening, and that's what you call model as a service, right? Maybe you can say MaaS, and that's what you can use. So that's easy, right? So let's say you decided to go for OpenAI, or maybe Anthropic, or maybe Gemini, your choice, and you are choosing, let's say, one. Personally, I prefer Gemini, but since OpenAI was the first one to do this, or maybe the first one to get famous because of this, so a lot of people talk about OpenAI, but I'm a big follower of Google, so let me just go to Gemini. Now, if you want to use their model, of course, you need to get their API key, and then whenever you want to ask or whenever you want to talk, you need to connect, you need to hit their APIs. So if you have a key and if you have the API link, you can hit it. And based on which language you're working with, of course, these companies provide you SDKs, and they have an API where you don't need to follow any language. You can directly use an API, or maybe you can use the SDKs. Now, if you're using a Java SDK, let's say, so you got multiple options. You got Python, JavaScript, Go, Java, C#, and AppScript. Okay, what is AppScript? Okay, never tried it, but anyway, or maybe I'm not able to recall now, but let's say if you choose Java, or maybe if you choose, let's say, Python, very famous. In this case, you can simply install the library, and this is the code in Python. But now, since we are talking about Java, let me switch to Java. This is a dependency which you have to add in your Maven project. Simple dependency, right? And it should be available. And then you can write your Java code. So it doesn't matter, is it a web application or a standalone application, you can simply create a client. You have to, once you have dependency, you can import this and you can create a client, and you can say client.models.generate content, and you can pass the prompt. It will give you the answer, right? So you can say response.text. That will work. And that's amazing. Good. So it's easy now. So you can simply use this code. Of course, this is simple. So the moment you want to do something complex, in that case, of course, you need to add some extra code, and there should be some examples as well. Now, let's say you decided to jump from Gemini to, let's say, OpenAI mid-project. Okay, in this case, or maybe you have built a project and now you want to move. In this case, you will say, okay, let me go to OpenAI, and here, let me check the code. Of course, OpenAI provides SDK for different languages. You can see we have an option here, JavaScript, Python, .NET, Java, and Go. And we have decided to go with Java. So these are dependencies. So you have to change dependency, and that makes sense. Dependency will change based on the SDK. But look at the code. Code is also changing. This is the code for OpenAI, where you have OpenAI client. In Gemini, it was the client only. So certain thing will change. And you need to create an object of some other class. You have to do this. You have to pass the prompt as well. This is your prompt. and then you say create, you will get the response, and then you will say output text. I mean, imagine just for a simple prompt, so many lines of code is changing. Also, if you go to, let's say, Anthropic, you decided to go for Claude. In this case, again, you need to, so I'm into different SDK. You can see we got Python SDK, TypeScript, Java, Go, Ruby, C#, PHP. I think they were smart to not have JavaScript there. Not a big fan of JavaScript. TypeScript, okay. But let's say you went for Java SDK here. And then reason for Java is because most of the enterprise application is built on Java, and now they want to enhance it. Of course, not every project for AI will be from scratch. There are existing applications which you will be using, and you will be enhancing it. So if it is Java application, so you will simply go to, depend upon which build tool you're using. So let's say if you're using Navin, again dependency, and let's look at the code. And the code is different again. So you have to import certain packages, but here it's Anthropic client. I think Gemini was smart to just have a client. They're not saying Gemini everywhere. Good job, Gemini. But Anthropic says, no, you have to go for Anthropic client. OpenAI says you have to go for OpenAI client, and things will change, okay? So it's good they are providing you SDKs, but every SDK, different code. And the problem is, if you want to switch to a different model, you need to change a lot of lines of code. Of course, even AI can help you there. You can use AI and say, hey, or maybe the Copilot and say, change this code from Gemini to Anthropic, and it will do it for you. That's a good thing, right? That's a good addition. But you're still changing the code. What if you can get an abstraction layer? Somewhere you use certain tool which will help you to abstract all these features. And as a developer, what is your job is to use that tool irrespective of the model behind the scene, and the code will remain same. Yeah, in future, if you want to go from Anthropic to, let's say, OpenAI, in that case, dependency will change, the Maven dependency will change. Everything else remains the same. Configuration might change, where you will specify which model you're using, specifically model, because Claude, OpenAI, Gemini provide different models, right? In fact, in OpenAI, you might have heard about GPT 5, 5.1, now we got 5.2. Even in Claude, we got different options, Sonnet, Opus. In Gemini, we got Gemini 3.1, 3.2. 3.2 is released, I think. So those are the things which will change. The code will remain same, and that abstraction we want. Now, there's one way you can build this abstraction layer by yourself, but then since you use a framework, one of the famous framework in the Java world is Spring, and if you have an application already built in Spring Boot, you don't have to worry about creating this abstraction layer by yourself. What you can do is, you can use something called Spring AI. And Spring AI basically is an abstraction layer to use the AI models. So what it does is, let's say you have in your application, so you got your APIs, you got your data, and you can use a feature of generative AI. So you can use generative AI, and generative AI can push some code or some data to you, some features, and that's what you can use. Of course, you will be hitting the models. And one disclaimer, when you want to do this, when you want to work with any of this model, you need to add some credits. I think Gemini provides you some free credits, but when I was using it, it was not working properly. Sometimes it was working, sometimes it was not giving a response. So it's better to add some amount of dollars, maybe $1 or $2 should be enough. If you're working with image or video generation, which will consume a lot of tokens. Again, all these things, tokens, things, we'll talk about that in some time. May not be in this video, but we'll talk about it. But yeah, so this, you have to add. So you can choose any of this. I'll be using Anthropic. Okay, so I was doing OpenAI in previous videos, but now I'll go with Anthropic. I feel it's doing very good in terms of responses. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, which model you prefer. But as I mentioned, we are going to use Spring AI, so it doesn't matter which model you use, the code will remain same. The configuration will change, and dependency will change. Okay, so here, if I go to Spring AI, so this is what we have talked about. Now, Spring AI got its inspiration from LangChain and Llama Index, but not completely copied. Inspiration is good, but they have done things a bit differently. And if you're not sure about AI concepts, again, I will try to explain those things, but I would also recommend you to go to Spring AI docs. They have very good documentation. And the best thing is Spring AI 2.0 version has launched. It's still into M2. GA will be available soon. And if you look at this tab, which is AI concepts. There are different concepts here. You can go through it. As I mentioned, we are going to talk about this concept step by step, but there are different concepts here. Maybe sometime I will refer the same page to explain you certain concepts. Now let me take you to a page which is talks about chat client API. Again, I will not be going in detail. What I want to show you is the code. Now, irrespective of which model you're using, so if you look at the code, this is a code, a simple code of talking to a model. So this is your controller, simple controller, in which you got chat client. Nowhere we are mentioning it is OpenAI client or Anthropic client. We are simply saying it's a chat client. And then you can simply hit a prompt. Okay. Yes, in the configuration you have to mention. So I think they don't have the configuration mentioned anywhere. No, but I will show you where do you put that. Is it Anthropic or is it OpenAI? Cool. So this is how it helps you. Now let's see, how do you create a project in Spring AI? And anything I'm missing before we move to creating a project? So there are different options here. So you can see it supports all the major providers. We got Anthropic, OpenAI, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Ollama. So yes, you can use local models running with the help of Ollama, and you can connect it. We got chat completion, embedding, text to image, audio transcription, text to speech, and moderation. And we get different options. You get structured outputs. We can also work with different vector database providers. Again, what is vector database? We'll talk about that. But in case if you know, it supports different providers here. As you can see the list. We also have an option of tool calling, which is a foundation for agentic AI. So that is the option. Then you get the option of observability. Then you can evaluate the models and anything important. Yeah. So yeah, we have different options. AI concepts will go step by step, one by one. But if you go to references and if you are very specific about the models, so if you expand this, the different chat models, you can work with Anthropic, Azure, OpenAI, DeepSeek. Google has different models. You can check them out. And yeah. Okay, so we got this new option, which is OpenAI SDK. Never tried this, but maybe some of the video I will try to use this. So we just have to use the API key. Okay, it's from the Azure. Okay, there's something I need to explore. We'll check that. So we also have the support of MCP, so we can build MCP servers with the help of Spring AI. RAG is there. Okay, so now let's see how do we create a Spring AI project. It's very easy actually. Now if I go to Spring Initializer, I think that's where you normally create your Spring Boot project. I will choose Maven because some of the models, the SDK they provide only supports Maven. So we'll choose Maven here. The language is Java. For the Spring Boot, we got Spring Boot 4, so we'll use that. And we can provide the example here, the group name, which is com.telusko. And demo, I will say Spring AI. And then the packaging will be jar based on, this will be using Java 25. Do you want properties YAML? I will stick to properties. And now let's add the dependency. Of course, I want to create a Spring Web project, so we'll add that. Additionally, I want Spring AI as well. Now, when I say AI, you will see a lot of options here. I'm going to select Anthropic. So let's do that. In fact, let me just select Gemini first. Now, if you look at Gemini, which is, so Vertex AI option we have, but Google Gen AI only supports 3.5, Spring Boot 3.5 and less than 4. And I don't want to use Vertex at this point. So maybe in future they will add this support. If you say OpenAI, you can add OpenAI here with supports. But since we want Anthropic, we'll select that, Anthropic Claude. And that's it. We can just click on Explore just to verify the things. So we are using Spring Boot 4, which is here, Spring Boot 4. And then the Spring AI version is this. So 2.0.0. And these are the dependencies we're adding. So we're adding Spring Starter MVC, Web MVC, and the Spring AI Starter model Anthropic. Now, once you have this, you can click on download. It will download here. I'll just unzip it. So I got that on desktop, unzipping done, desktop. Let me open my IntelliJ IDEA. You can use community version, you can use ultimate version, your choice, whatever you have. Let me open the project. So this is the project. I will click on open, yes, trust. And this is your project given to you. So if I expand the pom XML file, I think I have to increase the font size a bit. Appearance, I will keep it 200. Looks good for recording. And if I go down, so this is the Spring, same thing which we have seen. I'm just verifying things, if things are working or not. And now let me go to SRC, main, in the application properties, there are certain things we have to mention here. I will not mention and see what happens. I will go to the application, simple stuff, and let me just run this to check if things are working or not. The moment I run this application, and we got an error. It says the simple API key cannot be null. So that means when you add the dependency for Anthropic, it is looking for an API key, which is not there. So in this, basically you have to set a property for the API key. So I will say Spring AI Anthropic API key. This is where to specify the key, and AI should suggest the key. But let's see, how do we get the key? So since we are using Anthropic now, so let me search for the dashboard, Anthropic dashboard. You just need to come on this page and click on. So I'm already logged in. So you have to basically create account here. So I am logged in. So if I go to settings, billing, I have added some amount here. And this is the amount I already have. So I think $2 should be enough. And even you can get the API keys from here or from the home page. And how do you get the API key? It's very simple. You can click on create key and mention the key name. You can say demo and click on add. And that's it. You will get the key. And I hope my editor will hide this. So you just have to copy the key and paste it there. Remember, when you copy the key, just make sure that you paste it somewhere safe. So I'll go back here, and I'm going to use my old key because I have not saved it somewhere the new key, but I will stick to my old key. This is the key which I've created before. And that's it. Once you add this key, it should work. Let's see what goes wrong. So the moment you run this, no error. Okay, so at this point there's no error. Application is running, but nowhere we are using the AI feature, right? So in this, basically, we have to write some code to write a prompt, talk to the AI model. But the way I'm going to do it is we can create a web application. Okay, and let's try that in the next part. So in this, we basically created the project, not doing anything fancy here, or maybe we should do that, right? At least we'll make this project as a complete project. So let's say at this point in this video, I don't want to use any web feature and I want to do it from the console. How will I do it? I've not tried this before making a video. So this will be a testing mode for you and me. In fact, for me, and some learning for you, hopefully. So the first thing we need is the chat model, because see, ultimately you have to write a prompt. Okay, so let me just write a prompt here. So I'll say string prompt, and I will say, okay, it has suggested something, right? Let's go with that. What is the capital of France? Okay, and I want to talk to AI. So the way I can do it is with the help of call method. So this chat models provide you this option of call, and you can pass your prompt here. But from where you will get the prompt? So you will get the prompt from the chat model. But which chat model? Now, there are two options. If you remember, when we went to this page, there's option of chat client. But in this video, I'm not going to use chat client. I'm going to use chat model. But this chat model is not abstracted. So you have to basically use the Anthropic chat model. And I will say this is chat model equal to. Now we can say new Anthropic chat model, or you can use Spring container to get that. So I'll say application context. And with the help of context, you can get a bean for this. Again, not a good way of doing this, but since I don't want to use web, so I'm just using this technique. And with the help of chat model now, you can call the prompt. And this should return you text. So I will say response. And now let's print it. And let's see what happens. If we fail, we fail. If we fail, we fail. And then we'll try to debug, or maybe with the help of AI, we'll debug this. So let's see. Let's run this application or rerun this application, and we got an error. Okay. Now the error is, in fact, ignore the warning here. It says it's not able to find this model, which is Claude 3.7 Sonnet. So one thing you can do is, I don't know why it is not able to find it. One thing you can do is you can specify the model which is actually available. Okay, there's a suggestion. Let's try the suggestion and let's see if AI can actually help us there. Okay, this is not the actual property. So it's anthropic.chat.model. Okay, it says Claude, but 3 is very old, right? Well, let's see if even 3 is working. No, same problem. So let's specify the model which I was using. So it's Claude Sonnet 4-6. This works. Okay, for a second I got scared looking at this warning. But anyway, but you got the answer. The capital of France is Paris. Okay, this is working, right? So if you look at the code, this is a question we have asked. Or maybe you can ask it to tell me a joke on AI. Let's see. if we can make joke on itself. Okay, there's a joke. There are two jokes actually. Why did AI break up with internet? Because it has too many connections, but nobody really understood it. Oh, okay, that was deep. I asked an AI to tell me a joke. It says error 404, human not found. Then charged me $20 a month for that. This was good. Okay, so you can, this is how you can talk to the AI models. But again, I know you're not happy. You want to use chat client. You don't want to use Anthropic chat model. Next, you want to do it with the help of controllers, not from the main. So let's see that in the upcoming videos.